Guys, let's be totally real with you. Whenever you look back at the first season of Johnny Test and you see episodes like this, you always consider that this show would have been a lot more better if it actually took the direction of these characters a lot more seriously. Even though that this episode being an episodic show, it still doesn't excuse on making the characters really unlikable as the series progressed, because this episode really showcases that Johnny can still do good deeds and being a likable character, and yet at the same time, they don't even bother taking it seriously when they take the finalization way too far. Johnny's House of Horrors isn't a Halloween episode, but at the same time, it's still a haunted house episode with a twist that is really unexpected if you watch this episode for the first time. Johnny Test has been told by his mother that he needs to clean his room because Mr. Spurley is coming over and his dad is freaking out. And after cleaning his room, he came up with an idea in order to have his father's house to be his dream home, but as it turns out, the book isn't what it seems. It's mainly all of Johnny's dad's nightmares, which for me personally really showcases the nature of what they were going through when it comes to the house in general. But I gotta be really real with you, the problem that Johnny's father should have recognized is that he should have put in nightmares rather than dreams, because how the heck can he mistaken dreams with nightmares, which they're all similar, but there's a huge difference. But this was also around the time where Johnny's father, while being strict, was honestly the best that he was, especially since that in the reboot they improved his character, but as the original carried on, his character ended up getting worse. Even if it's mainly for the fact that they just wanted every single character to be flanderized, but this only sums up the nature that the first season is superior, especially since that the production value is really seen everywhere. Like, people may have not noticed this when it comes to my opinions on the first season, since I never talked about the first season other than the later seasons at some point, but you can't tell me that you saw the majority of this show if you never watched the first season, because it really shows that even if season 2 up until the final season is where Johnny Test took a dive in quality for the worse, the first season really makes everything else when it comes to the music and animation a completely different show entirely, and I can't imagine what the show will have looked like if it continued to the art style and music. Which, for me personally, I actually kind of like the music of the characters running away, which is weird, but I did remember the music when I watched this episode during my childhood. And it's honestly sad that this episode ended up becoming one of my favorites, but mainly the fact that the episodes afterwards ended up becoming worse for the reasons due to poor execution. Johnny in this episode, while there are occasions where he can be nice and he can't be nice all the time, it kind of sums up that he was willing to support his father for the sake of having the appreciation that he gets from Mr. Spurling who comes over. And in all honesty, the fact that he made a huge misunderstanding when it comes to the book that he and his sisters read in fast time thanks to technology, I really feel like that this would have been a better opportunity to at least have some occasions where he's actually nice. But whenever I remember the episodes that I sit through in later seasons, it really feels like that the moral compass is literally the only way for these characters to improve, despite the fact that everything else is also important aside from the moral compass. And when I say aside, that's literally the logic of what this show does when it comes to the later seasons where the moral compass is literally the only thing to make it worthwhile, even though it doesn't make the characters any better, and it just makes literally the importance of the moral compass difficult to take it seriously. Even though if people still enjoy this show, whenever I see Johnny and Dad somehow having a bonding moment in this episode, you would expect it to carry on. The show itself really had potential despite with the huge drop in quality, but just because there is a drop in quality when it comes to the animation and the music, that doesn't automatically mean that the characters themselves should have a drop in quality. I'm supposed to find amusement in Johnny's father's feels, with him having issues in the words of Dookie, but if you're not even bothering into improving these characters later on, it kind of makes the first season an afterthought, which I did state that people probably didn't watch the first season, but in a different sense, if you actually watch the first season before hanging into the later seasons, then this is definitely an afterthought of all afterthoughts, because I wanted to enjoy this, but a part of me still says no due to how the later seasons made Johnny Test worse. The battle of Johnny and his dad facing off a spider is supposed to be a really good father and son moment, but again, with the later seasons, it makes this battle, like the episode, an afterthought. I really wanted to find some kind of enjoyment out of this when it comes to the characters, but then again, the aftermath of this episode, mainly of what happens in later seasons, is really difficult to take it at full value. There's really nothing else I can say about this episode in particular, because if this show ended up improving, then maybe I would have said a lot about it, but keep in mind, I really feel like that whenever I think about this episode, it's mainly me reviewing it for Halloween Mania 2, which, if I didn't do Halloween Mania 2, then I don't think I'm ever going to review this episode if I ever get the chance. Trust me, there are some ups and downs when it comes to this Halloween Mania, which at some points it's mostly a mistake, but at times it's mostly the right decision. So it's honestly good for this review to happen, since that there are still qualities in Johnny Test. It's a shame that after the first season, the show took a turn for the worse, and if I ended up talking about the other horror episodes, and maybe a Halloween episode, which I'm sure there is, I would probably have a difficult time enjoying it, so picking this episode is honestly the best choice. So it would take a while for me to get back in this show, but at the same time, at least there is some kind of quality in this show when it comes to episodes like this. But keep in mind, there are so little to find positivity in Johnny Test. I'm giving this episode a 7 out of 10.